Hi, Mike Sowers here, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to shed a little bit of light on my background so that you can understand where I'm coming from when I'm presenting the material to you throughout this course. So let's just go way back in time to when I was 12 years old. And I was a soccer player growing up. And I remember at all of our soccer games, one of the kids' dad was literally at every single soccer game. And I was super jealous. My dad, he busted his chops, but he worked 80 hours a week as a traveling salesman. And his vision was the same vision that our society gives us. It's work really hard, go to college, save your way, give your money to your financial advisor, and then when you're 65 years old or 70 years old, you can basically live off your money and hopefully you outlive your money instead of your money running out before you die. And that just absolutely appalled me as the way to live my life. And so I found out what this kid's dad did, and it turns out he was an entrepreneur. He owned his own machine shop, and I made a decision at 12 years old that I was gonna do just the same thing, that I was gonna become an entrepreneur and that I was gonna own my own business, not because I wanted to be rich, but because I wanted to have time. I wanted to have time to spend it with my family, traveling the world, and doing the things that I'm called to do. And if you're taking this course, maybe yours is the same thing. Maybe you've been grinding, maybe you see the writing on the wall that, hey, look, the pathway of hey, I'm gonna throw 20% over to my financial advisor and maybe someday in the future I'll begin living my life. That's hogwash. The system I'm gonna give you is gonna show you how to be financially free in 5 years or less, guaranteed. And I'll tell you why as I move through the story, because my results are results that you can achieve, and that same success can happen in your market with this system. So I went to college for entrepreneurship, and there was only one entrepreneurial studies internship in college, and it was this company called College Pro Painters. I actually ran a franchise for 2 summers, and then my senior year, I decided, what am I gonna do? I had 2 options. On the one hand, I was gonna be a broker for some big commercial real estate firms. But the prior 2 summers, I had already run my own business doing painting. I had 3 job site managers, a production manager, and 10 painters, and I was working 20 hours a week, but leveraging their time and their expertise to make way more money than my counterparts were making in college. So the idea of going to work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. cold calling at the bottom of the chain in corporate red tape America, doing commercial real estate in downtown, did not excite me that much. So what did excite me is the big numbers and the lure and luster of commercial real estate. But when I thought of commercial real estate, I thought of downtown skyscrapers, big malls, big properties that were really ungettable. And so most people who want to get into commercial real estate think that becoming a broker is the way to go. And I can tell you that becoming a broker and doing investing for other people for a small tip is not the best pathway. The best pathway is to learn the system on how to invest from somebody who's successfully doing it. And that's why I'm bringing you this course. And that's exactly what you're gonna get out of this course. So on the other side, I was like, hey, I'm gonna start my own business. Well, I had a non-compete for painting, so what I did is I started a remodeling company. I started doing roofing and siding, and we were selling and using the same techniques to sell paint jobs, but I'm selling roofing and siding. We added windows, and then the business expanded. And then one summer, we got hit with a hailstorm. And what I realized is that the insurance restoration business is a crazy business. And so business exploded. I put some systems, some people, and some software in place where we scaled up, and I had over 50 people working for me in that business at one point. I was making more money than I'd ever made in my entire life, but something was still missing. It was super transactional. I had to grind every single month, and if I ever took a step away, I knew that I wanted to build a system to create time, but what I ended up doing was building a system that I became a slave to, and it took all my time. And so I kind of realized the writing was on the wall. I was contractor by day, and I was house flipper by night. I started acquiring single family properties, wholesaling, doing creative contracts for deeds, master leasebacks, option contracts. We did it all. I did everything on the side as a realtor and as a real estate investor, but I also was running this remodeling business. And then in 2015, my world was just absolutely rocked. My mom committed suicide. Enough time has gone by now where I can actually talk about it. Her goodbye notes, her last thoughts that were on her mind were about her fear about retiring. She was literally 6 months away from retiring, and it was the biggest thing she was afraid of. And so if you're in your life, you know, and you're thinking about like, hey, how do I get to that next level? Maybe it's like you want to just get some passive income in place, and that's what was really missing. So after that, I did a lot of soul searching. We thought about, you know, what's the next steps for us in our life, and we decided to sell the remodeling company and get out of the contracting game. I remember on one Saturday, I was covering for a subcontractor who didn't do what he said he was gonna do. And I was over there like caulking some cabinets and shooting some finished nails, and she was yelling at me, the homeowner was, and I was just like, dude, this is it, like I'm done. So maybe if you've been flipping houses and you've been over there like having to micromanage people and stuff, and you're just like, man, I did all this for like this excitement and the money, but then you realize like the whole point of why you're doing it all was your time, and you have none of your time. It's time for you to get into commercial real estate, my friend. Now here's what happened to me, okay? Remember going back to my options coming out of college? I sold the company and I walked away with a pretty healthy check. And I went back and said, well, I did that thing, now I'm gonna do this thing. But instead of going into the brokerage world and commercial real estate, I started buying properties. And I bought a couple properties, and guess what happened? I ran out of money. And that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because it forced me to actually learn how to structure a partnership, how to split the profits, and how to raise capital, which is a whole different level in this business of what you need to learn to go from residential to commercial. And I'm gonna teach you that exact thing. And here's what I realized. I never needed money in the first place. And once I unlocked that secret to understand that you can do commercial deals with other people's money, and you don't have to sell it to other people. They're hunting you down. They want to invest with you. What you need to do is have a really good deal that you're getting at a deep discount. And that's what my system teaches you how to do, how to cast your net wide enough so you're looking at enough deals and analyzing them and making offers, and then it's just a numbers game at that point, okay? So once I realized this secret, I broke off the rearview mirror, I sold all my residential properties, and I went full-time into commercial real estate. And since then, my life is so much more fulfilling. I'm building a net worth that is absurd and a residual income that would make you sick to your stomach. And you can do that same thing for yourself, and you can duplicate our success in your market. I guarantee you. Why do I guarantee you? Because the 8 modules you're gonna learn here is the exact system that I'm using. In fact, the whole reason I wrote the book in the first place was to clarify my own strategy. It was to really force me to think through my strategy so that I could communicate it as clearly as possible to other people. But just remember, I'm not bringing you this system for you to waste it. I'm bringing you this system so that you can implement it, so that you can achieve freedom, so that you can be at your children's soccer game. And so I'm relying on you to do this, and it has been my life's mission to really help people unlock their potential so that they can go out and do the things that they were called to do. So welcome to Commercial Investing Mastery. I hope my story inspires you to go duplicate this success in your market, and I'm just excited for you to take the journey with me.